What is going on, Legionnaires? Happy New Year. We have officially made it into 2024. It's going to be a fantastic year. It's time to stop, pause, and kind of look at the hobby, look at the channel, and kind of get an idea of what I would like to see happen with both of those things moving into this year. Maybe set some goals and look at what I accomplished last year and see how I can improve on it this year. If you want to see what I'm talking about, don't go anywhere. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Let's get it going. Huge shout out to the homies over at Big Time Collectibles. Check out their website, follow them on social, find them on Whatnot. And if you need anything cleaned or pressed, hit up my boy Justin over on Instagram. His link is in the description below. And a huge shout out to ABX Comics and Games, my local comic shop. They have a fantastic Facebook group if you're looking for a place to talk comic books outside of YouTube. That group is a good place to do it. You can also get into like tabletop gaming and stuff like that there as well. So be sure to check that out. And if you are new to the channel, if you've never been here before, there's a link in the description to a place called Pop's Attic on Instagram where you can find comics cheaper than anywhere else ever on the planet. Definitely don't miss out on that. So this video is dedicated today to looking at 2024 and what I would like to potentially accomplish in this year. It's good to set goals. I'm not necessarily holding my feet to the fire that it's an all or nothing kind of thing. If you've been following the channel, you know that I paint with a very wide brush. I'm into a lot of different stuff, and a lot of times I end up shopping where the deals are, but some of this stuff is long-term goals that I've been working on through the past couple of years, and we're going to look at some of those and where we're sitting at right now at the start of the year. So by the end of it, maybe we can check some of this off, and there's also some big hitters on there. We'll also be talking about what I want to see with the channel itself. So let's get into it. The first thing I do want to mention, one of the surprise things that I started doing last year was Transformers Volume 1. I'm a huge fan of the movies, and I decided to dive into the Volume 1 comic books as a way just to expand my Transformers knowledge. And dive in I did. I'm not talking about hunting things online, but in person, finding books in the wild at conventions, at stores and shops. I ended up picking up not only Transformers issue 1, but the entire run minus 3 issues of Transformers Volume 1. There's 80 issues in there, and I'm only missing 3. So in 2024, I would like to accomplish getting those 3 issues and completing this run. Specifically, that's issue 77, 78, and issue number 80. So it's going to be a pretty easy one to knock off the list. Now, those 3 issues, they are not cheap. I mean, the best that I've found them so far, like just looking around, window shopping in the wild, is like $70 to $40 around there. So as long as they're complete, readable, and in pretty good condition, because they're not too old and they're not mega keys or big keys or anything like that, I would like to have them in a nicer condition than just like a beat up, worn out, or water damaged copy. But I'm excited to be able to check that off. I feel like that'll be a pretty easy goal to accomplish early on in this. I mean, the latest I expect to complete that is by June of this year, and we'll talk about that a little bit later as well. If you've been following this channel for a while, you know that I'm a diehard Hulk fan. He's my all-time, my first love. And so what I've been doing is working on completing Volume 1 of The Incredible Hulk. Now this volume, this run starts with issue number 102 and moves forward. I was only missing books that were underneath issue number 200, and at the current time of filming this video, I'm only missing 9 of those issues. These, like Transformers, I do not shop online. I do look for them in the wild, and I feel like I have to find them in the wild. It's the only really way I want to do it. I'm not in a rush to complete this run. I just get them when I can. I call it soft collecting. I heard that term from Southern Comic Geek years ago. You hard collect stuff that you have to have now. You soft collect stuff that you get it when you run into it. So there's no major keys that I'm missing out of this run. We got 180, 181, all that kind of stuff. But there are one minor key, and that's the one that you see right there, 142, the first appearance of Valkyrie. And even then, it's only like a $40 book. I ran into it, held it in my hand a couple times this year, even at the Chris's Vault show, but it was a signed copy, and the guy wasn't giving up on the price that I felt was a fair value for it. So I let it ride. They're easy to come across. This is another goal that I expect to complete this year, especially once June hits. It would be the ample time just to knock it out. So that starts at issue 102, and for a reason, because before issue 102, Hulk didn't have a series. He was just featured inside of the pages of Tales to Astonish. Tales to Astonish ran for 101 issues. When 102 dropped, it switched from Tales to Astonish to The Incredible Hulk and stopped featuring other superheroes, just The Incredible Hulk. So one thing that I do is I also collect Tales to Astonish. Hulk first appeared in issue number 59 of that title, and he was in every issue all the way up until the end before taking it over. But before then, it featured characters like Giant Man, Ant-Man, the Wasp, first appearance of Groot, amongst other monster characters. When you get to the 40s and below, it's not a superhero book. It's a monster anthology series featuring a different story, different monster, different creators along the way. But Tales to Astonish is another one that I also soft collect. So we're going to continue knocking these off the list. I'm down to only missing 29 issues out of the 101 issues. I have a complete run from issue 51 all the way current, and then I have sporadic numbers along the way, all the way down to my lowest issue being 106. Now, issue 13 right there featured on the front of this image is the first appearance of Groot. That title is very expensive. You're looking at 4 to 5 digit purchase right there, depending on the grade. Other major keys that I'm missing out of this run features the first appearance of Hank Pym, the first appearance of Ant-Man, and the first appearance of the Wasp. Outside of those, they're just kind of hard to find. These early monster issues don't get the circulation like the superhero titles or the superhero numbers of the run does. But you can find them, and if you kind of hang out and wait on them, you can get them for a decent price. So this is another one that I do not expect to complete this year, but I do expect to chip away heavily at. These I don't really find in the wild unless I'm at a comic show or something. And then I typically only leave with like two to five issues kind of thing. A lot of people like to hold the value of those pretty high. But I tell you what, I have great luck talking them down or finding them between $20 to $30 an issue. And at that price point, I'm very happy to walk away with just 2-3 issues per show that I go to. Now, this next one is where it gets a little bit trickier. And as you see, these are steadily increasing in value and price along the way. This next one is when we talk about the Incredible Hulk before Tales to Astonish. When he first appeared in comic books, he only had a 6-issue run. The character wasn't wildly popular, and it only ran for 6 issues before they brought him back for a trial run in Tales to Astonish, and his popularity changed. The superheroes are getting more popular, and he stuck around at that point. So the original 6 issues of the Hulk are the creme de la creme of the Incredible Hulk collection. Now, out of those 6, I have half of them. I've made it a mission to kind of pick up one per year for the past few years, and I'm continuing on that trend this year. Last year at HeroesCon, I picked up number 4. The year before that, I picked up number 5. The year before that, I just purchased number 6 elsewhere. So this coming year, or this year at HeroesCon in June, I expect to pick up issue number 2 or 3. I'm not aiming for issue 1 this year. That's one of those things that when I'm ready to start aiming for it, I'll start putting aside for it completely separately. But I will be prepared to pick up issue 2 or 3 when I get to HeroesCon. Issue number 2 is actually a pretty big key, as it features the first appearance of the Hulk with green skin. Issue number 1, he only had gray skin. So that one's considered a pretty hefty key as well. Issue 3, just its main factors, first appearance of the villains featured inside of the title as well, being the third appearance of the Incredible Hulk. Also commands a decent price, but it would be great to pick up issue 2, but I'm definitely happy with just picking up issue 3. And who knows, you never say never. Something can happen and you can run into a great opportunity. You can fall into a collection. You just never know if you might end up with that ultimate grail of Incredible Hulk number 1. That's why I say never say never. Even in terms of something like Action Comics number 1, you never know what life will present to you, as long as the people in the community, your family members around you know that you're into comics. Crazy things can happen. So last but not least, in terms of the comic collecting aspect of this video, we're talking mega grails now. The major grails that I have on my list that I would like to achieve this year are repeats from last year. So these are going to include the Brave and the Bold, issue number 28, featuring the first appearance of the Justice League of America, as well as Starro the Conqueror. This one's been on my list the past 2 years. As soon as I decided to go after this one and check it off is when the price spiked on it. But now that we're seeing a year full of market correction and prices going down, it might be the year that I end up pulling the trigger on it. It's one of those things that you can definitely afford it, but you don't want to spend the money that you're seeing asking for it. So I might end up getting lucky on that one this year. And another one that is absolutely tanked, and when I say tanked, I mean tanked, is Marvel Spotlight number 5, the first appearance of Ghost Rider. This is one of the final issues of comics that I need to complete a Ghost Rider run. I'm very excited to I'm expecting to definitely pick this one up this year. Last sold on a 3.5 of this issue was under $500. That's ridiculously cheap compared to where this book has been. So I really expect to knock this one off. Shouldn't be too difficult unless something happens and it gets wildly popular out of left field and the price runs back up, like what happened with Brave and the Bold 28. Some of these keys get slept on for a while, and then people realize they're slept on and it just runs them up. But I'd be happy to pick up one or the other, if not both of these issues. But who knows, something like last year can happen where you have them on your list and those are something that you're definitely looking for, but the first appearance of Swamp Thing and the first appearance of other stuff fall into your lap and you end up with those instead. So like, I'm not holding my feet to the fire. If those are the ones I end up getting, great. If they're not, it's because I found something else along the way for a better price. I'm one of the people, like I said, I paint with a wild brush. I have so many comics characters, different aspects of comic books that I really enjoy that there's a lot that I really want that's not on this list. It's one of those things that when you see it, right time, right place, right price, I'm getting it, and I'll call that my win. If I can get a big book for a lot less money, that doesn't mean I'm going to spend the money I saved on something else. I want to call that a win and keep it pushing. So that's my comic goals for this year. Be sure to leave a comment. Let me know what some of the stuff you're chasing, what some of the grails you would like to add to your collection are this year. As far as channel goes, man, I cannot be more happy with how this channel has gone. Couldn't have imagined it getting to this point. This is all still just for fun. That being said, I crossed 3,000 subscribers last year, so I think it's safe to want to stretch for 4,000 this year. I call 1,000 a year is absolutely insane. I don't do clickbait style videos. I make the content that I enjoy, and my content is definitely geared toward trying to create an atmosphere for live interaction, a live hangout. If you don't know, I run 3 live streams a week, where that's my favorite part, is interacting in real time with other people into this hobby. So if I can hit 4,000 views or subscribers this year, that would be fantastic. I have the channel membership as well, which has grown year to year. So to see that grow as well would be awesome. It actually had points, like it fluctuates up and down, and it's had numerous points throughout last year where it crossed right over 100 paid members, which just blows my mind that there's that kind of support and appreciation for the channel. So to see that continue to kind of work its way up, I definitely think that that would be fantastic. If it doesn't, definitely no big deal. As far as the community goes, man, just like last year, Heroes Con, my goal community-wise is just to get to Heroes Con again, which is like the Father's Day weekend trip that me and my dad take, where we go every year. And just watching it as it like has grown and more community members have started targeting and making that the destination location for like the gathering of the community, especially with last year, it just exploded. Getting the opportunity to meet like 40 other people in this community that I talk to on a regular basis and seeing chats and everything in person, that was a real highlight of the community aspect of comic books and being on YouTube. So I just want to replicate that experience, whether it be more people or a little less people. Like, that won't matter. Just being there with other like-minded individuals that just love this hobby for their own reasons and similar reasons as me is just, it's unbeatable. I cannot wait to do that again. And if you're thinking about going to a comic convention, check out Heroes Con in Charlotte, North Carolina, where it's really your best opportunity to run into the largest group of people that we hang out with on here. So that's really where I'm at with all of this, from community aspect to the channel to what books I'm looking for. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what some of your goals are for 2024, any aspect of the hobby, whether it be comics, toys, whatever. And I cannot wait to see where this year takes us. Be sure to hit that like button if you haven't already. If you want to support the channel even farther, check out the merch store. Hit that join button, considering becoming a Legionnaire. And until next time, as always, I'm Mark, but we are Legion.